Man, you know, as an African, to be born in Africa, man, it's a hustle. It's a hustle. First of all, you born in a hustle and you live in a hustle.
Welcome to Rwanda, a small country located in Central Africa. We visited its capital city, Kigali. Not really a place you would associate with having a booming creative industry. That's because most of us young Westerners would only know about the country because of Hotel Rwanda, a film which focuses on the horrific lived experiences of the Rwandese people through a genocide which claimed the lives of over 1 million people. This all happened in 1994, the year I was born. We wanted to shed a different light on the country and find out how its troubled past has opened the doors for the next generation to learn, to heal, and to create. In this documentary, we spoke to 8 different creatives aiming to not only pioneer a new creative space in Kigali, but also to create a political change and leave a long-lasting legacy for the future of Rwanda. So guys, we've touched down in Rwanda, Kigali. It is approximately around 10:30ish. We just checked into our apartment. You know, it's raining season right now. We weren't really expecting that, but still kind of hot, so t-shirts out. For the first day, we're just gonna head downtown, go check out what kind of shops and restaurants they have there, and then we're gonna link up with some cool creatives, so we'll keep you lot posted. First stop, we visited a young and exciting fashion designer, founder of House of Tayo, a luxury African menswear brand. He gave us a rare insight into his production process and spoke to us about his dream of changing the perception of fashion in Africa. African fashion can be sophisticated and it can be global. Tayo is pioneering this vision and making a huge impact in the process.
My name is Matthew Tayo Rugamba. I'm the creative director and founder of House of Tayo, a menswear brand based in Kigali, Rwanda, and I'm 30 years old. I started by designing a couple of accessories for myself, some bow ties and scarves, and then it seemed to catch on. I was doing an internship in Washington, D.C., and I used to wear my bow ties to work. And every time I was going to work, someone would stop me on the metro and say like, "Oh, where did you get this?" I started carrying them in my bag and selling them on the way, and I decided to build a brand around it. DC was very boring, blue tie or red tie. It was very typical. And then you have this intern coming in with bright African print bow ties. I was primarily inspired by African heritage, history, and iconography. I think that being present in the States made me look at myself as more of a minority for the first time critically, and I wanted to celebrate my heritage, and I felt that you shouldn't have to wait to International Day to dress up. You should be able to express yourself through your clothing, whether it's music, cuisine. That should be second nature. You shouldn't have to hide it and then try to put on a show when they say, okay, it's time to perform. I think that I was primarily inspired by by Rwanda, because when I told people where I was from, there was a look of pity. And it's something that really frustrated me. And so I wanted to show a more dignified Africa, an Africa that can be celebrated, not one that is defined by famine, war, disease, poverty. I wanted to help both create a new narrative, but also show one that has always been there. We have celebrations, we have strong community ties, we have very rich tradition and history. And I wanted to be able to show that through something that is easily translated through, clothing, fashion, music, cuisine, and art. Those are things that bring people together.
So right now we're standing outside the House of Tayo. Is it Tayo or Tayo? Tayo. I'm Nigerian, so in my country we say Tayo.
Yeah.
So it's the same.
It's the same because it's short for Matayo, which is Matthew in Swahili and Chinyarwanda.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome. See?
Yeah.
Just learned something new there. So you're gonna give us like a quick kind of like tour of inside and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll just follow you.
Okay, so this is the front of the store. Walk in and put the accessories first. the bow ties are what we are known for. So this was the first item that we came up with, and so it's become a staple. These are a couple of our shirts that some of the new pieces that we have in store. We felt that it was very necessary to have an alternative to a suit, especially for the hot summer days in Kigali. So then these are some of the more of the bow ties.
I love this. Yeah, some colourful. Like, so, if you had to recommend, like, what would you start with something like this? Would you kind of keep the suit simple and then use the ties like the colour?
Yeah, definitely. And what I would do is I'll probably have a navy blue suit to allow the tie to stand out more.
Exactly.
This is where we do all the shirts, the jackets, the suiting. Our accessories are done at another cooperative in the city, a women's cooperative, and they do our bow ties, pocket squares, but most of the other shirts and everything are here. I started with the bow ties because I always feel that firstly I felt that was an accessory that could translate, those who are from the continent and then also those who grew up in the West. I felt that it was a simple item that could translate well, but also it's very symbolic. When you think about black tie events, it's always great. When you think about professors, people held in high esteem in some way or form. They have it's linked to pieces of item like clothing, like suits and bow ties. So I think that's why I started with those pieces. But I think it all comes together with the whole idea of showing a dignified Africa, one that is very special. My journey was very difficult, but I think that one of the things I realized early on is, and I think it's the same for many creatives around the world, you have to have a balance. This is a business, so I need to look at the local market and think, what ways are they being underserved? But then you also need a lot of external validation, and I think that happens for every single artist in the world. The moment you get validation from outside, the local community, they see more value in your work. So, I was it frustrated me a lot in the beginning, but then when I took time and I was critical and I said that this is what I want to do for the rest of my career, how can I make this work? And then I started to channel some of my energy into getting that external validation, both to grow the brand, but also to show the local market the value of businesses like mine. I bring in interns, and they're able now to visualize a career in the arts. I think that's another important thing, working with the banks and businesses, for them to see that they should be supporting businesses that around creativity, because in Africa we have to create like millions of jobs in the next few years. In Rwanda alone, they have to create 30,000 jobs in like 5 years. These jobs are not going to come from just manufacturing. So much stuff is being automated. It has to come from new sources, and that's where businesses like mine come into play. I think that there's a lot to be done in our creative scene, and I think that it will only happen. We will need support from industries that are a lot more developed, and already the government has initiated some of these things. Like there's this huge new cultural center that's going to be built in Kigali, and this will have recording studios, it will have amphitheater, it will have performance spaces. So I think that's a big statement by the government. But then you need corporate entities hiring Rwandan musicians, hiring Rwandan bands. Now with the whole Made in Rwanda push, you have invitations for cocktails that say black tie or Made in Rwanda, and that's a big statement. Having that on a invitation is a big statement, because the first event that happened, I had government officials rushing here saying, listen, I need to find a shirt. And once they got here, they were like, actually, this stuff is pretty cool. So, the government has done its part to a large extent. The rest is for the everyday person to start doing more. as well as myself as an artist, as a designer. It's my responsibility to push the boundaries, you know, to say that people shouldn't just support me because it's made in Rwanda. They should support me because my work is better than other stuff that they'll find elsewhere. You know, so how can I integrate professionalism that you expect maybe at the doctors or the bank? How can I integrate it into my business? You know, how can I have good customer service? How do we have innovative designs? You know, I think that all those things are important. So everyone has responsibility, but you have to find a middle ground.
Next, we went to meet a young and emerging dancer, Bobo Elvis. He has dreams of being an international star and competing in competitions worldwide. Although he's already making strides to making this a reality, he also wants to teach his skills to the next generation and be the inspiration that he never had.
My name is Ngabo Elvis, but I use Bobo Elvis as my social media name. And I'm 23 years old. I was born in Rwanda, in Kigali, in this town we are in. And I'm a dancer. I'm a professional dancer and teacher. I have some kids I teach. Here, I can say it's not like a big thing, but it's starting to be a big thing because there are some opportunities which are coming and dancers get to get them, yeah, so they can get their things out. Like for me, what I do, it is not supported here, but when I get like an opportunity, I go in some big competitions, I get people to know me more and get more opportunities. My first inspiration was, there's a guy called Philippe Shabib. You know the guy? He's a dancer, and he has like an old battle he did with a guy. I used to watch that battle every time, and I got to know every moves that they did in that battle, because it was the only video I had at home. I didn't have any dance video, so I get to know all of their moves. I started creating by their moves. Yeah, because I was not getting to get to social media because it came in Africa or in Rwanda very late. So I get to like a tape. I had a tape. Yeah, that tape, that's what I used to pro and record it, then I watch. Yeah, for me, how I do it, I'm like a fusion dancer. I get all the moves, all the dancing styles I know. I put them together. Most especially like my culture. Yeah, I use my culture in my dancing. So when I get to put in hip hop and bring Afro beats and all those moves from Africa, I put them together and it becomes one thing. Yes, because I feel like hip hop is the main culture of dancing. It's like here, they don't support art in Rwanda like it was supposed to be supported. Because you see, like right now, things are changing. There are people who are bringing other talents, and they get a living in those talents. Like people, like our parents, when we tell them like I'm going to be a dancer and that's going to make me one big someone, so they don't get it quickly. They keep on telling you, you have to go to school. We know school, I go to school. I'm in the university. I'm in my second year. But that's the first thing they put on top than what you're doing after school. Yeah, so when they accept it, when they see that you have done something big that can convince them that that talent can help it. And the government also. When they see you getting somewhere, that's when they start to help you as an artist. But when you're starting presenting your talent or your projects, they don't get it easily. You can see this is where I live with my family. Yeah, So if anybody looking for me, you can search this. Growing up here, it's like, I can say it was not easy because they had a lot of challenges, like kids who are not in school. Creativity was like an escape because I used to wake up, go to school, go in the dance studio, after go to sleep, nothing else. Like wake up, eat, dance, sleep, wake up, eat, dance, sleep. Yeah. For me, I want to inspire many people. Like for now, I have a group of kids I teach, and I want to compete. Those are the things I have in my mind, like to inspire many people to do what I do, or to create from what I do, and to reach on another level of dancing where it can give me a living and prove to people that dance can make you somebody better.
Model, adventurer, actress, and activist, Rachel is making waves in the world of fashion. There aren't many modeling agencies in Kigali that can represent millennial creatives, so she's doing it independently. She's walked in numerous fashion weeks and has been cast as the face of global cosmetic brands, airlines, and more. We sat down with this pioneer to hear her story.
My name is Rachel. I'm a model and blogger here in Kigali. I'm 25. I've been modeling like for 4 years now. I studied after my high school, and yeah, I gave it a try and it's pretty good. I love fashion, art, and it's like a way of me expressing myself. There are no many fashion inspirations, as I think I'm like a pioneer with models, and since there are no modeling agencies, so I work with like local designers, and yeah. Rwanda has talent. I think Africa is the future of fashion, and many creatives lack maybe exposure, but then I'm doing what I can. I think maybe in the future I will go international, and I wish Rwandan designers and African art can go big and people know more about Africa. I'm always like inspired by my country. Everywhere, like Rwanda is like mostly known as the most cleanest country, and Rwanda has many unique things about it. Maybe let's say it's the cleanest part. We have this thing called umuganda after a month, after 1 week of the month. So there's like general cleaning and other different policies that are more environmental friendly, and I think it's a good thing, and other African countries could learn from. I'm doing blogging where I go to different places and show people most beautiful places, what to do when you're in Rwanda, where to go. And it's not just the gorillas. We have a national park, the animals, and another one, Nyungwe, it's a forest. There's also a canopy walk. There is also gorillas, yes, in the north side. There are other many tourist places you can visit. Also, this is, I think, one of the trademarks we have. Convention Center, and yeah, I wish there would be more creative engagements and collaborations. Since it's a small country, and it's good to. Well, some of them, we know each other. I work with designers, I work with photographers, and yeah, but there are not many bloggers around, or yeah, I think, and I wish there will be more collaborations around, and it's good for the country, exposure and all that, yeah. Rwandan fashion has a cultural part that is rich. It has this kind of migongo. They call it migongo. You can see it, or maybe motions designs, or hutbaso. Those are like Rwandan designers. It's like it's a bit modern and also like maintaining the culture side. So yeah, I think that's the kind of difference between other designs compared to the African designers. I wish I could maybe inspire more, bring people to come see my country, and yeah, I could wish a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's about what you give back to the community that counts. So whenever I will be or whatever I'll be doing, I will be always representing my country.
Okay, so we've all seen Hollywood comics and animations based on Africa, but have you ever seen an African comic telling African stories that was actually written and drawn by an African? Meet Mika, comic book designer based in Kigali. His dream is to bring authentic African stories to the forefront, using his artwork as a medium to reach the masses.
Yeah, my name is Mika Hirwa. Hirwa. That's it's kind of, yeah, it means like chains in Rwanda, you know. And I'm 22 years old. Yeah, I grew up from Uganda, yeah, and I came back to Rwanda just to continue my secondary schools. Yep, and I'm an artist. Yeah, I can say an illustrator, comic writer, and you know, artist. Yeah. Watching those kind of movies, even those are like you know, The Lion King was made from Disney and it was African, you know, and many more. And it was really interested in them. And I was like, so if they are making something from Africa, from there, you know, maybe I should just do something the same. Yeah.
Wow. So, in terms of them, like even using the example of Lion King, like that's an African story. Do you get what I'm saying? It's based in Africa, but it's drawn and written probably by white American people.
American people, yeah.
Yeah, so is it important for you, would you say, to kind of tell the story of where you're coming from, like from your perspective?
Like
through the comics.
Through the comics. Yeah, look, where we grow up from, we have a lot of stories, right? And I'll just those stories they were using, they stole from us, actually, right? Okay, they didn't steal maybe, but they used some story from here, and they didn't have like the actual story. Okay, so all kind of made up, but nothing's made up, you know. Exactly. Yeah, everything has a lot. So as we are creating something like that here, we're gonna just have like more information about them, more information about cultures, you know, because we're only in the culture, so it's easy for us. It's even gonna be easy. Like growing up doing art, it was crazy. Yeah, even the idea was also to others. People was saying like, man, you're going to do art. How stupid are you? You know, should I die? Oh, sorry, die. No, yeah, and you know, just to move up, it was like, you know, self-courage. And if you are like if I was like an I can say like, you know, someone with like I can say like a soft heart, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be Mika, you know, because the feedback, yeah, the feedback I used to get was worst since I was young, from the teachers, from the students.
What kind of things did they used to say?
Yeah, like the teachers used to say like, man, just study so you can become an astronaut or just a banker, you know, shit like that. I was like, okay, so in the bank do they draw? And they'd be like, no, drawing is for stupid people. It may not get you anywhere, you know? And I was like, okay, maybe that shit is dumb. But as I keep growing up, watching this, and I was like, oh, huh, why those guys are doing this? Why are they just doing something people were saying is for stupid people, and then we are just very stunned, you know, watching them.
Exactly.
Yeah, focused. And I was like, no, fuck them. I should follow this way. Yeah. My first comic was called Simbi the Inventor. It's just a story I got from high school with my friends. Yeah, they used to say like, you know, people from you know, rural areas, and people from the city, we are totally different. Cause you guys, you grow up having, you know, everything around. Yeah, and once you finish the school, you made it. You reach on your dream easily, not like us who are stuck in your area. And I was like, nah, everybody can make it as long as they got mine, you know. So, and after high school, so I decided to make something that can inspire anyone from those kind of area. It was a girl. It started about a girl who invented something like a big maize machine, you know, maize. Yeah, it's a maize flour machine. So she tried to. Okay, she did make it, and she provided the maize flour all over her neighborhood, and it was amazing. And everybody here in Rwanda, they really love it. So after that, I decided just to go on doing comics, because comic is like it's a way of telling story easily. Before they were saying like, you know, Rwandan, they wouldn't believe that someone from Rwanda can do such a thing like that. Yeah. Exactly. And it was a sad story for me. It's even hard because getting materials, you know, equipment. I didn't even attend a school of art, so I didn't even have any connection about art. So once I get out, try to rise up, my social media it's just those followers, Instagram, whatever, everywhere is where I go, and my friends who we are in the same field, you know. Yeah. What I can say, it's not easy. Yeah. It's not easy at all, bro.
So is it easy to kind of like build up a network? Is it easy to get opportunities? Is it easy for people to, you know, maybe fund what you're doing and to get sponsorship? Is it kind of easy like?
Oh, hey, no, it's not easy. It's not easy. You know, you bring up something big and they deny it. They say like, oh, come on, you're playing yourself. You're doing something, you know, not from here. We need something in Rwandan, and then when they say they need something in Rwandan, when you come up with something in Rwandan, you know, when they say something in Rwandan, it's like, you know, drawing your ancestors. Yeah. And we are in a digital age, so we have to beautify everything. Exactly. You know, how European did on the history, everything. So when you try to do something like that, they deny it, and it's still a weakness we have, because we can't rise up just without going with the technology. Yeah, and when it comes, you know, on connection, you know, and having sponsors, no one interested, just actually, no one is interested, because they only say like, we're interested in something that can make, you know, quick money. And I don't know.
But it's not because of a lack of talent, it's more, what would you say, is it like a lack of, is it just like a creative spark that's just missing? Maybe people just don't understand the value in being a creator.
It's lack of people who understand what we are doing. Yep. I can't lie. Those who understand, they don't live around here. And those who don't understand, they're in high places. And when you try to reach on them, they be like, okay, how much is this gonna make? And you be like, man, I have like a plan of 10 years in front, so if you just let me and work on this project, we can just do something big and beneficial to our society. And they be like, no, we need a quick money. We need just an income for only 1 year. and that won't happen in a startup.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, in a startup industry.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's crazy. It's crazy, and I'm glad few people they are starting to know that people like us exist. I want just to create not even to create. Okay, it's like creating, but I want to make something big. Something big. Anybody that believe that can happen here, like what I did with the comics. Here there was no comics. There was no comics at all. And the comics, once I read the first comic, there was like, what? This guy is coming from Marvel. And I was like, yeah, I'm a kid from Rwanda, hey. And they start to believe in those kind of things, comics. And now I'm happy. A lot of people, they are really interested in comics. Now, hopefully, in the future, we'll be having like a big industry of comics. And once we start with the comics, later is like, you know, fiction movies. Later is like animations, yeah, like real animations. Yeah, so that's what I believe in. I want just to boost up in the industry, and then, yeah, leave it to those who are, you know, who are already just okay, who have already inspired by me, yeah, and keep up doing it, yeah.
If you Google Rwanda and read any recent articles, you'll hear the statistics about 60% of the government being female. Feminism seems to be a huge part of post-genocide Rwanda, with women in Kigali making huge strides to bringing about equality. We sat down with Sister Circle, an all-female collective of amazing women who campaign, educate and curate events designed to aid black women across the country.
I'm Sarah Kenkweyu. I'm a development economist. That's my profession. I was born and raised in Uganda, but I now live here in Rwanda.
I'm Fiona Mutoni, and I'm a marketeer, and I live in Kigali as well.
I'm Eunice Twaira, and I'm from Rwanda, and I'm also an economist and senior analyst in a consultancy firm. Sister Circle is a collective that was founded by Jiramata Amata. She's a PhD candidate right now in gender studies in the US. So she founded the organization, which is an NGO, and basically we joined slowly. So we're about 7 girls. So yeah, there's us 3 here, as we mentioned, me, Fiona, Sarah, Amata, the founder, Celeste, Imundu, who is also studying to be a counselor. There's also Belinda Uwase, who's also doing her LLM, and Jessica, Jessica, who's a public servant. So that makes the entire collective. I think what brought the collective together is the passion to liberate women, to kind of promote and advance feminist politics in our conservative country, and to kind of bring all these things to life and to create impact, obviously. And so personally, it's something that gives me a lot of passion and purpose.
I'd say it's the urge and to first give ourselves among ourselves a platform to talk about women, issues women face, and also to give that platform to fellow women.
I also think what started the need for Sister Circle. Our country, Rwanda, is at the forefront of having one of the highest political representation of women, of female member of parliament. But then what's lacking is a social part here in society. And so for us to have a space where we can promote the socio-economic empowerment for women, both young and older women. So for us, that's what is important for Sister Circle as well. But what it's like to be a woman in Rwanda. First of all, I'm proud to be able to be a member of a country that is at the forefront of this whole political environment and the good political environment. However, there's a lot to be done. Not just, I understand how privileged I am to be living in Kigali, where we have legal protection and people that are protecting us. However, in the outskirts of Kigali, I feel for the women that are on a daily basis not being protected by our by our country on a macro level. However, and also just additionally, the culture itself, we have a very beautiful culture. However, women are still marginalized in this culture. Not many of them belong, because we have we don't belong as
to ourselves.
Yeah. We belong to society and to serve other people. And for me, it's good and bad in a sense. However, I'm still proud of being Rwandan today.
Being a woman in Rwanda, first of all, at some point you're involved. Like, we are involved in, we've been given chances to attend higher education and everything. But then again, socially, we still face some stigmas, some taboos that restrict us to be like ourselves. We have like certain guidelines that we have to be following as women, and that have restricted us from doing some other things that I think women can achieve. But because of those social conforms and restrictions, women do not belong to themselves, as you said.
Pretty much, I think that our government has made a lot of strides to bring gender equality and equity, but I think that on a concrete level, our society is still very patriarchal, and everything is male-centered on the male gaze. And you have to grow up to be a wife. You are groomed to be a wife. At 2 years old, like, something that I always cringe about is when I go visit, let's say, family, friends, or relatives, and all the women are sat together, and then there's probably a toddler who's 2 years old in a short dress, and she just seated anyhow because she's just a toddler, and then maybe the mother will make a comment like, she never sits right, or every auntie's pulling the dress, and I'm like, this is a baby. Why are we, over-sexualizing a child? But I think that, as they said, we're quite privileged if we are educated, if we are able to, work and earn our own money, and that's where I think there's been a transformation, because even though our society is still male, centered, women take less shit. They take less shit. So it's like, no, if you want to be a nonsense, I'm not gonna stay in this marriage, for example. So divorce is not seen now as a taboo or an absurd thing anymore. But I think that there's still a lot of work to be done to kind of decenter values and morals, and no longer apply it based on what men think, what men should like. Like, we shouldn't be raised to do that. We should be free to exist as we are and really belong to ourselves before belonging to either society, religion, our husbands, our fathers, whatever else. Yeah. I'd like to kind of stress the fact that Sister Soko is pretty young. It was founded last year, but the collective got together in June, July. So we're pretty starting up, but we are pretty proud of the work we've done so far. So we have about 4 programs. So the first one is the Intimate Circle, and that means that we kind of create a safe space for women. Those are events that are only attended by girls and women to discuss different topics that affect us on a daily basis. And it's just an opportunity for people to express themselves and to share, and be vulnerable, but still be safe. And it's usually it's few people, because we want to kind of nurture the intimacy of those conversations. Then we have the branches that are mostly activists that are already doing the work, and it's our time to connect and share and learn from one another, because we're still kind of young, but there are people who've done the work before, so we learn from them. Then we also have biannually we have panels with either a scholar, experts in certain matters. Like, for example, in December we have a panel on sexual and reproductive justice, and we're going to interview or have panelists that range from gynecologists to social activists and things like that. And then the fourth one is the library that we're working towards. We want to have an all-black women library, and here at Wood Habitat, with whom we are partnering to host it here. So we want to get like writers from all over the world, black women, essentially, because we feel like they don't have enough voices, and this content and resources haven't been accessible to most Rwandan girls. So we'll start with Kigali, and then we have partnerships like the one that we have tomorrow, which is with ALU, the African Leadership University, for the 16 days against GBV. So we're gonna have like an intimate circle over there with like students. Yeah, and then the other things that we're about to do in the future, I'll let the others talk about it.
So just add on to what we're doing right now. We also reach people every day on our Instagram account, over 1,000 people. So we just basically teach them about African feminism or black feminism. So anything that you might have missed, because I mean today in our Asian society, everyone is always on their phone looking, scrolling through Instagram. And so if we can teach someone or one or two people about feminism, or having a platform, still a safe platform where you can text us on the side, DM us, or like we have different discussions on like the normalization of female pain. So people usually open up there, and so just to feel that your voice is heard, even though we're not hosting a intimate circle, you can still have your voice heard through Instagram. Yeah. So you can talk about maybe
the future plans that we have, like in the rural areas.
Yeah, so we're planning of a reach out program to get to those people in rural areas. We think that for us people in the cities, we are kind of exposed to news, to various sources of information, but then those people from the rural areas do not, and they do not know how, in case of a certain incident, how they would go about it, who they will go to. So we're planning to go to those women down there to help them know their rights and equip them with the knowledge on how to act on what they deserve, and to know their value as a woman. So,
yeah. So pretty much next year we're going to branch into starting clubs like within schools, like 4 schools. We're going to start with 4 schools for pilot, like all girls schools preferably, because that's when you know your target, and you can get as many as you can. So we want to focus on, again, having feminist clubs, engaging in those discussions and stuff. And then, as she says, we're going to have the outreach in villages and equip them with legal aid or legal toolkits. Let's say, if your husband beats you, what do you do? If your husband abuses you, what do you do? And we're also trying to start like saving schemes or anything that empowers them not only socially but also economically. I think I'll answer like Burna Boy. It's that we are African giants, and African giants become giants because we have hope. That's our currency. We will not amount to anything if we stay fatalistic. So it's in knowing that there is hope even if you're outpowered and outnumbered. And it's in focusing on what you can do, not what you can't do. And what maybe they could learn from us is the fact that acknowledging already the privilege they have, because women in the US and the UK have way more privilege than the people in Africa, yet we're more hopeful. So it's in knowing that no matter how dark the situation is, that even if you have a crack or just a glimpse, just capitalize on that, build on that. And it's also in terms of organizing. If you rally enough passionate people, change can be done. And we've seen it like with Black Lives Matter, with all these organizations that are kind of coming up. If you also listen to, let's say, 85 to Africa, the album, Burna Boy, like all these artists are now saying, Africa has so much to give, and that's how it starts. It's by planting this seed in someone's brain or mind, in their thought process, and putting hope there, and then you build on that. But yeah, I guess that's what I would say, and then maybe use as well the resources that you guys have. You know, like I think there's a movement or a thing that happens in the UK by 2 girls. I think it's all black girls. It's an event. Yeah, by I think their names. One is Paula and I don't remember the other one.
Oh, Black Girl Fest, yeah,
Yeah,
Nicole,
Black Girl
Nicole.
Fest. You see, Nicole and Paula, and yeah. So it's like these things that you have, and they gain momentum, and you capitalize on that to keep advancing. But that doesn't mean, obviously, that from that moment onwards that you've dismantled patriarchy 100%. It's a step by step, you know, one win at a time. And then, you know, at some point we're going to win, even if it's our, you know, great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
But at least we keep going. Yeah.
Furniture and interior goods manufactured in Rwanda. We were lucky to bump into Paradise, the founder of Wood Habitat. She showed us around her showroom where she exhibits and sells her designs. Hey, you okay?
Yeah, thank you for coming by.
No, it's a pleasure.
Welcome
it's a
to
pleasure.
Wood Habitat.
This is amazing space. Like,
So empty today.
No, can you show us around and tell us what it's about?
So please never mind, this is so empty because it's a shop that sells. So yeah, we are manufacturing here in Rwanda, and we're a team of 42 people. We started in 2016, and this showroom is only 3 months opened. Yeah. So yeah, we've been producing without having a space to showcase what we produce. But finally now we have a space to show and sell. Okay. So yeah.
And you guys make furniture out of wood?
Yes, out of wood and metal, and we focus on locally or African sourced materials. But we really focus on high quality, high quality production in terms of techniques and joineries and finishes to, you know, to just say something great made in Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, and I could tell that it's quality as well, like just touching everything here, it's so good.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I think the love for wood, it's really infectious. Like when you touch it, then you feel like, I really want this.
Exactly.
And I want the smoothness. It's one thing that we really focus on.
Exactly.
And especially in our finishing team, it's dominated by women.
Yes.
So I think it's also something that is special about our finishing because it's made by women. Yeah, and welcome to Wood Habitat. And so we also make beds and mosquito nets. This is a product we made really just dedicated to clients because everyone was like, it's very tough to find a proper mosquito net around.
Yeah.
So we just designed this. It's functional and yeah.
That is so clever, honestly. Wow.
Yeah, and don't mind the storage of our wine and it's actually like these are the products we use when we're setting up for the photo shoot. But these are some types of wardrobe we make. Yeah, this is like 3 pieces, and as I told you, we really focus on technique. Yeah, and because I really want to. I want people to believe that it's possible to make high quality furniture in Africa and beautifully designed furniture. Yeah, because many people just think, Africa is just good for, nothing is straight, the drawers won't move. Of course, the wood is very expensive and very really high quality, but I want to change the narrative of furniture manufacturing in Africa and especially in Rwanda.
That's crazy.
I want to show you. So this basket, we call it agaseke. It's a typical Rwandese woven basket, but we made it in metal and also has a tray, and it serves as a table.
That's amazing.
If you just look at that one.
Oh, that one there.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's the same. So you can just use it to lift yourself. And then you use the tray.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
And in terms of like interior design, because I'm just kind of getting into that stuff now and starting to appreciate on a different level, but like wood, the way you kind of integrated it into the space, like it feels really modern at the same time, like, So like, do you recommend like people using wood as like the basis for their furniture?
Yeah, for me, I always like wood when it has value. Yeah, when it has value added. And to me, to add value on wood is just the finishes, the design, and number 3, the space you put in it. Like some people will just go wood on everything, and I think it's not like very good because then it's overused. But when you mix wood with other materials, especially natural materials, and you go with the light and you focus on shapes, then you really have a super high quality interior finish.
Yeah. So we've been in Rwanda for about 4 days now, and we spent every waking hour taking in the culture of the city and speaking with some amazing creatives. Each of them having their own unique skill set and story, but all of them sharing a deep connection with their country. However, we also wanted to get a little taste of the nightlife. We were invited down to the Enema Gallery, where a little party was being held to celebrate 10 up-and-coming artists and their work. To be honest, we just went for the good music and the good vibes, but we did get a chance to catch up with some of Bobo Elvis's friends who gave us an insight into the struggles of the hustle. Yo, so right now we're at an event. It's a gallery. Do you remember what it's called? Jesus Christ. I don't know. Oh, guys, what's this place called again? Enema. Okay. So yo, guys, currently I'm Wave. That's the most important thing, innit? We're enjoying ourselves. We're at the Enema Art Center. It's basically this gallery that was set up by this guy and his brothers, I believe. And he's basically supporting 10 up-and-coming artists from Rwanda and basically showcasing their work through the gallery. So we've had a look inside. Unfortunately, we couldn't film because they don't allow cameras inside there. But we've been turning up inside the event. This has some cool DJs. They've been playing bashment, reggae, Afrobeats all night. We've been enjoying ourselves. But right now, we've got some amazing creatives with us. One of them is a DJ. We're about to bring them in and get some information about what it's like being a young creative in Rwanda, what the nightlife is like. And they were just giving us a bit of insight into what Rwanda is like compared to the other African nations, because they were saying that this is the Africa that you don't see. Whereas to us, this just looks like, this is Africa, but to them it's like westernized Africa. So they're going to tell us a bit more about, you know, their perception of Africa and where they want to go and where they want to take their creativity. So it should be good. Yeah, go on. So guys, do you want to start off by introducing yourselves, your name, your age, what you do and where you're from?
Start. Yeah, my name is Papin Chris, for those people who knows me into dancing. But my name is also Das Kavumbi as a DJ from Team Kumba, dancer from Chris Crew. Hey. Yeah, myself, like 26 years old. Yeah, this is from Kigali.
Come on.
Wagwan.
Wagwan. And what about you, bro?
Yo, what up? My name is Manzi. I'm a choreographer slash media personality, and I'm an artist in general. So I am a dance teacher. I do Afrobeats, Afrofusion. If you know, you know.
Yeah,
so
of course.
This is Kigali, and I represent the hustle.
Yes. What a. Cool. So tell us about the hustle, man. What's the hustle like for young Rwandese creative?
Man, yo, it is really hard, man. You know, as an African, to be born in Africa, man, yo, it's a hustle. It's a hustle. First of all, you born in a hustle and you live in a hustle. Whatever we do is like we are artists, but we don't get what we want. You know, the scene is really small, the country is really small. And this is our first generation. This is we after the genocide, because the genocide took everybody. So whatever we do, we are just promoting whatever we have. And we are the first generation to put like whatever we want on the map. Wow. So, but it is hard, man, to live here and as an artist. But yeah, we fight, man. We are Africans, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Africa.
Also, I would add something. Thanks to my brother, I would add something. I think the scene is growing also.
Yeah, it is.
And I think like back maybe 8 years when we started to dance, we never thought we were gonna tour, like going to Europe or traveling to East Africa, whatever, you know. And I feel like everything is coming together, you know.
Yeah.
Like we see expats coming, we see like right now we're organizing like a crazy event in this December, you know, bringing dancers from Norway, you know, coming here, not us going there.
Yeah,
them coming here to Wakanda, you know what it is.
Come on.
You know, say what? So I feel like everything is just coming together. So guys, please, if you're watching this, visit Rwanda. Visit Rwanda, and please, we have a lot to give to the world, a lot to share. Crazy dancers, crazy musicians, man, producers, DJs, videographers, crazy man, photographers, man.
Whatever.
Just
I would say like this is a vision 2020.
Okay.
And all our dreams is like whenever we grew up, everybody used to talk about the vision 2020, and now we want to enter vision 2020 when we have like a standard of like other people. Why not run this? Why Ugandans? Why Ghana? Why people from Nigeria? Why not run this? So yeah, we are down, and we are working.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm loving this country because now the scene is growing, and man, people are starting to listen like what is going on.
Yeah.
The development of the country goes with art as well. So it is what it is. But that's what's up.
Man. So like, tell us about, in terms of you guys saying that you guys are the first generation after the genocide to really take things and bring it worldwide. Like, how much does it mean to you guys to be that first generation of representing your country?
I would say like we never had like people we can learn from.
Okay.
No, that's the problem. Like you grew up as a musician, as a dancer or whatever, but you don't have like somebody who inspired you. Again, that's the problem. So we are now like we are self-taught. Basically, it's YouTube things or like basic foundation of whatever we want to do.
Bro, it's crazy.
We are growing up, but we are more glad like we are sharing to new generation. So yeah, that's what's up.
So how important is it, like, because we spoke to a comic book designer recently, and he said that he used to go to a certain bus stop near the banks so he could get free Wi-Fi. And you just said that YouTube was a major tool for you guys to learn how you're doing the things and stuff like that. So how important is it to have things like Wi-Fi and to have things like infrastructure that you lot have?
Bro, it's crazy. Like right now, if you look at social media, it's everything. You know, I wake up, I'm like checking always my targeted audience on Instagram. You know, Instagram is my life. You know, I'm like, because that's why I get my clients. That's why I get my gigs. That's why I get everything. So I feel like personally, when I started to dance, it was YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, it was YouTube because we didn't have. Actually, we don't even have a dance studio. You know, we are
Africa,
just renting places to give dance classes. You know, so it's. I feel like we just fighting, requesting, like we wish like having like a national theater. We don't have it here. You know, so. Yeah, I mean.
So anyone watching this right now from anywhere around the world, you know, what message do you want to send them about being a young creative in Rwanda, and what can we expect from Rwanda in the future?
I would say like Rwanda is coming, baby.
Yeah.
The thing is like this is we people. Most of the country, like I've been to Europe and I found like most of people don't know Rwanda. The only thing you know is genocide and gorillas and the president. But we have art and we are growing up, and our target is like to put Rwanda on the map. So this is what is in 5 years. We're gonna be on your standard.
And
that's
also,
it.
I would add something. I think that's a wish, and I would, if someone is watching us and you feel like you wanna invest in people, please visit Rwanda. Come, we are very talented, and I don't even say that just to like blah blah blah. You know, we are, and please check us out, Manzimba official social media, and if you know, you know. So come, bring a national theater, bring dance studios, come collaborate with us. You know, we're ready. We're always ready, and we're here.
Let's go.
Bless.
Man. We have more to share. Followers. Poppin, Chris, One, Team Kumba, DJ Das, Kavumbi. What up?
Guys, it's too popular.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Don't tell me where you're from.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's all I can share with you people from like everywhere. Invest your money in Rwanda. Rwandese people are like the first generation. We are young. We need you people. We need your money to put the effect on the generation which was like really affected by the war, but which are really willing like to move on. So please come here, share your work, collaborate. We are down to exchange. So yeah, that's what's up.
So our time in Rwanda has come to an end, and to be honest, this country was nothing like I expected. To think that this nation was not only able to overcome the genocide, but has also given birth to a new generation of creatives that are reimagining life as an African. The future is now, and Rwanda is setting a great example for the rest of the world in fashion, arts, politics, tech, and more. Although there are still so many things that need to change and be developed, I think we can be optimistic about the potential of this great nation.